Hello everyone, my name is Dalibor and I'm a mechanical engineer here at Shapr3D, and today we are going to show you how to model the ball valve. Previously we did the live stream for you, and unfortunately for some reason we had some technical issues, so the video quality was not very good. So because of this we want to create this video for you so you can rewatch it and see what we did on the live stream. So I'll try to repeat all of the steps in the same order, and I'll try to explain everything as I explained in live stream. So hopefully this will be helpful for you. So the thing we did last time was modeling ball valve. So this is the actually the mechanical part, which is often used, which is actually used in some hydraulic examples where you want to open or stop the fluid from flowing. And the thing with ball valve is that it's very fast reacting, so with only 90 degrees of rotation of handle you can completely close or completely open the ball valve. So that's actually the biggest advantage of this type of valve. So today I'm going to show you how you can model it, and while modeling it I'll try to show different ways of modeling same features or same parts of the body, so you can choose which workflow works best for you and which one do you like the most. And I'll try to explain what is the best case for this particular feature or part that I would model. So the starting point actually is to create the ball, which is the regulating part of the valve. So I'm going to start with sketch and I'm going to create circle for the start, and from this circle I'm going to use revolve feature and create ball. And now when we have a ball, we want to create this hole inside this ball, hole through ball, so the fluid can flow. So we are going to use sketch, section view. And now when I cut this ball, I want to start sketch on this plane. I'm going to use circle again and create circle which is a little bit smaller than the previous one. Exit the sketch, select the profile, and I'm going to use extrude feature, but I'm going to use symmetric extrude. And with that, easily we are going to remove inner part of the ball. Okay, now this is our first body. The next thing what we want to create is to create seats which goes to one side and also to other side. Those seats, their function is to prevent leakage from like fluid which is flowing through this direction. We want to prevent it from flowing outside of this pipe, so we want to create seats or seals. So we are going to add construction plane. Let's say 11. Okay, and now I'm going to create another circle here and one which is a little bit bigger but still smaller than the diameter of the ball. And now you can see that we have some profile, and we can use this profile to create the seal. And there is actually multiple ways how we can do it. One way is to use it, for example, as a regular extrude and create new body. Now there is some part of the seal and the ball which are overlapping, and we can use this to create, actually it would be more visible if I use the section view, but not this one. Okay, so you can see the interference here. We want to remove it. How can we remove it? We can remove it with Boolean operation. So we're going to use subtract, and the part we want to remain is seal, and we want to remove ball from seal, but also we want to keep the ball because this is our main part. And now we have perfect fit here. Another way to do it, one of the ways to do it, is to click on this profile, again use extrude, or we can extrude it for like 1.2, and then if I click on this face, I can use replace face and click on this, and now the shape of this seal will automatically extend to the ball, and we'll have something like this. But in that case, I can see that this part here is different, and I would need to add construction plane and then use offset. I need to offset this plane here, and now I would need to use split body and use plane. So, and now remove this part. So in this way is actually a bit more complicated. So I would, in this case, choose this way and extrude it, create new body, and just use Boolean operations, and like that. And just a quick note that while I'm modeling, I'll try to avoid adding fillets, even though that there are edges that needs to be rounded, and I'll try to add them at the end of the video, so the modeling would be a little bit more smoother if we avoid using those fillets during the modeling. And we need also to add seal like that, like this one, on the other side of the ball. Well, what are the ways that we can do this? We can select the seal, we can use the mirror feature, and with mirror feature we can quickly create the same part at the other side, on the other side. Another way is to select it, and when I select it, I have this UI here. I can click on it, drag it to this place, and now I can use copy feature, and I'm going to rotate. Oh, sorry, I misclicked. I'm going to select it, move it to move it here, click copy, and let's just rotate it for 180 degrees, and now we have completely same part, but it's rotated around this axis. Okay, so the next thing I would like to model is this upper part of the ball. in this area we need to create some groove where will stem comes. So let's do this. How am I going to do it? I'm going to add construction plane again, offset it. We can change this dimension later. This one, we don't need this one, so I'm going to remove it. Okay, we can place this a little bit lower. And let's start sketch on this plane. We are going to start with rectangular, but I'm going to choose center. And now I can create a rectangle. I can define its dimensions, for example 14. Another dimension is not as important, and when I click on it I can just use the extrude feature to create this shape. And now if I'm not happy with how it looks like, I can just select those faces and move them closer to each other. Okay. Let me see how the section view looks like. Okay, it looks okay. And now let's create the stem. How can we create stem? One of the ways is actually to use this face. We can click extrude and create this shape, and now we can make it to be new body. Now it's different body than the ball, and if I select all of those faces, I can with direct modeling create this type of modification, and I can also do this and create the shape. Other way to do the same thing is to click on this face and use offset, create the profile, which is the one we want to achieve, and then use the extrude. And this is a bit more traditional way, and in that way you are avoiding selecting all those faces and using direct modeling. But still, if you want, for example, to add this modification, you can still use direct modeling to do this. And now let's start another sketch on this face, and we can create some circle, extrude circle like this. And still, if I'm not happy with the shape, if clearance is a bit too big, I can modify it like that. And also if the diameter is not something that fits, I can also edit it, and we can use also direct modeling offset face to move this a little bit lower. Okay, and another thing is if you want to create some cylinder here in the middle, you also have multiple ways to do it. One way is to create sketch and then create circle and then use the extrude feature. Another way is to use again only direct modeling. So I can click on this face, click extrude and create this, but now you can see that it is all just one body. But if I click here and select new body, then I have another body, and again with direct modeling I can reshape this cylinder. And one more way to do this is to select the face and use offset edge and select it like that. It all depends on what is the case that you want, what do you want to create and how do you want it to create, and what are actually the data you have. For example, if we are doing offset, the important thing that you can notice is that we are specifying the distance from this outer circle, and sometimes it's if we don't know actually what would be the distance that we want to use, we can just use the regular way of creating circle and then specifying directly the diameter of the cylinder, so we don't have to calculate what is the offset from this circle. And let's create this stem finally. Okay, and what we can see is somehow it is one body, and if we want to change this, there are multiple ways. One way, which is not so elegant, is to select it and go split body and then use this face to split body, but now I separated those parts too, so I need to use union, and now we have separate body. Another way was to click on it, find it in the design tree, and for example, every extrusion in the design tree, you can find this if you wanted to create new body, union, on intersect. So if you accidentally created union, because the union is default option, if you did it accidentally, you can go back to design tree and then just pick here new body, and the extrusion will be changed to another different body. So that's the maybe more elegant way, but I also wanted to show you this this way with a bit more steps and with split tool. So now when we have this stem or shaft, we want to create valve housing on the left side and on the right side. I'm going to show you two different approaches. One approach is with direct modeling, which is a bit more, it is not as precise, and it's probably more suitable when you are doing some concepting and you don't have the real dimensions, but you want to create something and then modify it quickly with direct modeling to see how it will look like. But after that, I'm going to show you the more traditional way, when we are going to create sketch and use Revolve, when you know the dimensions and then you just know how the profile looks like and create this profile and just revolve it, which could be faster. But if you are concepting, then the direct modeling is actually the very useful tool. And now I'm going to start with this face. I'm going to use this face as a base, so I'm going to click on it and use extrude. Now when I'm doing extrude, I'm going to do it for 1.5 or maybe 2 millimeters. Important thing is to select it as a new body. But now I will show you that if you forget to do it, you can go to design tree, you can click on this last extrusion, you can click on new body, and now it is different body. So if you forgot to change option from union to new body or subtract or anything like that, you can do it later in the history tree. And now when I have some shape, I can with direct modeling do some reshaping and just check out how it looks like, if it looks like how I want it to look like, and this is where direct modeling is very useful. Okay, and we can maybe use, we can now connect those two parts, two bodies. I can use probably, oh sorry, I did not want actually to connect those two bodies because this is the seal, sorry about that. But what I wanted to do is to, for example, maybe project this surface on this face, and now we have another sketch, another profile which we can use for this purpose. Okay, and I want this to be new body because I want to make the diameter, this outer diameter, a little bit slower, because there will come the other housing from the one that goes to the right side from this perspective. Let's union this, that should be one part, and here at this side let's use extrude once again. Okay, and now when it's done, I would like it to be a little bit bigger like this. Okay, let me start, or let me add chamfer here. And I would like it to be two distance chamfer, but now when I already created it with same distances, I want to find it in design tree, and here I can edit what would be the different values. So something like this is something I want to achieve. Now when we create sketch here, and when we use hexagon, we can create profile that we are going to use to remove this material from the valve housing like this, and now it looks already a little bit like the housing. The thing that we are missing here is actually the thread, which we are going to add at the end. So let me add a bit of a fillet here, chamfer, sorry. Okay, so that's the left side of the housing valve. Let's add the another side, and now we are going to use this different approach, which is creating the profile and then using the revolve feature. So we are going to create profile, so this is the more traditional way, but still, even if I'm using the way I'm showing you right now, still I can use direct modeling later. So probably the best approach is to use best of both worlds and to combine direct modeling with traditional modeling. Okay, so we have some profile. I'm going to create reference line here. I'm going to use it to revolve the profile around it. Okay, like this, and define some dimensions. Okay, now when we have the profile, we can select it, we can use the revolve, and we can create this. And now if I'm not happy with how it looks like, I can still do the modifications with direct modeling. For example, if I want this to be like that, or if we want to change the diameter here, let's turn off and if I want to make this a little bit bigger or smaller, or move this face, so yeah, that would be a little bit different approach, but we can get the same result with both of them. And let's do the same thing we did on the other side. Let's create profile that we are going to use to remove some material. Okay, like this. Okay, that was not meant to look like that. I don't like it actually, so I'm going to recreate. Oh, because I made a mistake. So when I was creating the polygon, I created up to this line, but I want it to be up to this line, and for this I would obviously need to do some modification for this face, so I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And now when I click on this profile, and now that's exactly what I wanted to achieve. So this looks good. Okay. And now if I want to, for example, do some modification, but only on this section, if I want, for example, to make it smaller or bigger, I can still use direct modeling. Or if I want to do this only on this section here, I can select this body, and with split I can, for example, split it and then do the same for this thing. Now I'm going to edit only this middle part. Okay. Now let's connect it back again. Okay, with subtract feature I'm going to create the hole in this housing, but I want of course to keep removed bodies, and now I want to hide this to see how it looks like. Okay, now let's show hidden bodies. Nice. And the other thing I want to create is the seal around this stem. So how am I going to do it? There is multiple ways. First step is to create the plane. Create the plane and create circle. And now when I have, oh sorry, I need also projection. Okay, now when we have profile, the key thing to notice here is that this face is curved, so the regular extrude feature would not work very best in this case. I mean, we can use extrude feature, we can create new body and extrude it a little bit more, new body, and now with subtract feature we can remove this bottom body from it, but we also want to keep this body. So that's the one way. The other way is to click on it and use extrude, but what is the correct way to do it? Click on this arrow, drag it, and use it to extend to face. And now we don't need to perform this step of Boolean operation. And the last way to do it is to create part of it and then click on this face, click on replace face, and click on this face, and the body will adapt to other body. Okay, another thing we want to do is to create something similar, and if I want to change the dimension, you can see that it still aligns with this face here. Okay, another thing I want to do is to create an offset. I'm going to create another circle here and another one. So this will be the part of the housing. So again, like this, I'm going to use extrude and extrude to face. For now, let it be new body, and when I click on it and click on this, with union we can make it one body. And now when I click on this face with offset face, I can create something like this. And now I can use this face to create another part, but I need it to be new body. Okay, and now I can make this a bit smaller, and I can project this face here and create body like this. This could be a little bit smaller. Okay, and at the top of this part we need to add handle. So how am I going to do it? I'm going to start sketch here. So this is the one way. One way is to create sketch, start with, for example, from this point to this point, and let's use spline because I want to create a bit more complex line. Like that, and let's continue with line. So this is actually going to be the shape of the handle. One way is to select this profile and use offset and create profile like this, close the profile, and then with extrude we can simply create this shape. New body. And there is the shape of the handle. Now the section view is still on, so it looks a bit weird, but you will understand what is the idea. And another way, which can be useful also in some other cases, is when you have some more complex line or more complex path. The thing that you can do is to actually add construction plane and choose on curve at point, click on this line, and now you can add plane on this line, across this line, and I'm going to add it at the end of the line. And now I'm going to use this to create profile. So in this case we could achieve the same result with extrude feature, but if we wanted to create some shape which is not rectangle, if we wanted to create some curved shape or something like that, this would be the better approach. So you can now create the shape that you want, and then you can use the sweep feature to move it across the path that we created with spline. So now I'm going to use extrude, not extrude, I'm going to use rectangle, and I'm going to use this profile and sweep, and now this is how it's done. We can click OK, and I'm going to exit section view now. And we want to add some modifications. Let's round it a little bit here, because, or maybe here, like that. Okay, and of course we need to create, or I can show you different ways to create. For example, if I isolate this part, you can see that it's solid body without hole here, of course. One way to create hole is to select it and use split body, and now select this cylinder in the middle. Okay, and if I hide this cylinder, now we can just remove this part from this section, delete it, and we have hole, and we can modify this hole. Another way to do it is to use Boolean features, select both bodies, click subtract, and keep removed bodies, and that way we have hole here. So, or you could just create a sketch and then extrude this sketch through this body, and this is also one way to create the hole. Okay, so this is the handle. Let's add fillet here. Why? Because I wanted to create some padding here. How am I going to do it? I'm going to create plane, add offset plane. We are going to maybe add it here. And now I'm going to use split feature, split body. Okay, and now with this part of the handle, I'm going to use scale feature. And I'm going to use non-uniform, but important thing is that I want to copy this body, and let's add some modification. And now when I already copied one body, if I continue to add some modifications with this copy selected, then I'll create another copy. So now when the copy is already created, I want to deselect copy, and now when I perform these actions, it will affect only the body that we already copied. And why I did this? Because I wanted to create some padding which is the same, or which has the same shape, but it's a bit different dimension. And now if I hide this, underneath we still have the starting point. We are going to connect it back, and it's one body now. Let's show hidden bodies so we can see this. But if I isolate only this thing, you can see that there is no place for the metal part. So again, we need to use subtract feature, and we want to keep removed bodies. Okay, if I click on it, now we have the handle. Okay, another thing we want to create here is nut, so we are going to create it pretty easy. I'm going to use another circle, and here I'm going to use extrude, new body, isolate it, and add some chamfer here, like that. And again, we are going to use subtract feature for this, and I forgot to keep removed bodies, so keep tool bodies. Okay, now if I want to, I don't actually like it how it looks like now, so I'm going to select those both faces and use a move to make it a bit higher. Okay, and now I'm going to create the hexagon here, like that, and circle around it, and use the subtract, and that way we have the nut at the top. The one last thing we want to add is to add thread. So how are we going to add thread? We are going to enter the section view. We are going to start sketch, and we are going to start sketch on this plane. So the thread is one of the features that are very requested, if I can say it like that, from our users. So we can hear these requests, and our team is aware of them, and until we get the thread tool, I am going to show you how you can how you can create it until that time. So we need to create two construction lines, and we need to create profile here and select those two lines, define angle between them, but the important thing is that those two lines need to be symmetric. Oh, I need to define it before. Okay. Let's also create the middle line, and with Revolve feature we can create it like that, and if I multiply it by 9, then the pitch will be 1 millimeter, and let's say 50 for example. Okay, and now with subtract feature we can create this thread. Okay, let's turn off the sketch, and the thing is that we want to add thread also on the nut, so I'm going to make this diameter smaller. Click on those parts, with subtract we are going also to add thread shape on the inner part of the nut. And last thing we want to do is to add this thread for those two housing parts. And here you can see actually how quickly you can create threads. I can just click on it, I use Revolve, drag it across, and multiply this by, for example, or okay, like this. Click OK, and then use it like this. And we have thread here. And one last thing is to add thread here on the other side. those threads are a little bit less precise in this case, but if you put a little bit more effort, you can precisely define dimensions of pitch and dimensions of the profile. So that's actually the valve that we created. So with that, now our model is probably 90% complete. So the only thing that would probably be good to add is some fillets, and with that the model will be complete. So hopefully this video will be helpful for you and you can learn something from this video, and thank you for watching it. Thank you for participating in the previous stream, and hopefully we can cooperate again on the next stream, and I hope that you'll watch us again. And if you have some comments or some suggestions, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments of this video. And thank you once again for watching. See you in the next live stream. Bye.